Good, all the passengers are here. According to my list, we're ready to go and we're ready for our flight to begin. I'd like to welcome you to Big Picture Airlines, where way up high you can see the big picture. We ask that all of our passengers take a seat, fasten their seatbelts, and place their belongings safely below your seat in preparation for our takeoff. My name's Pattie, and I will be assisting your flight engineer in the cockpit today. Since we've just met, how about I tell you a little bit about myself and we can get to know each other before our flight takes off. I'm so confused because I can't figure out God's plan for my life. I think I'm supposed to work here at Big Picture Airlines, but I don't know which job. First, I started out working in baggage, and that was really fun and I enjoyed it, but one day I accidentally put kind of sort of 10 or 12 bags that were supposed to go to New York on a plane to Los Angeles. So the next week my boss switched me to the gate, and that was really fun and I really liked it until Thursday. And then on Thursday, I accidentally sent all the passengers who were supposed to go on a flight to Chicago on a flight to Milwaukee. So now my boss has switched me to help the flight engineer. The flight engineer is in charge of the pre-flight checklist, which is what I'm working on, and monitoring the flight to make sure we follow the flight plan, watch our fuel, our speed, and our altitude to make sure we have a safe flight. They look at all the little pieces to make sure you have a safe flight and you can look out your window and see all the big picture of God's creation. Oh, that's the part I love about flying the most. Down on Earth, you can only see where you are up close, but on your flight, you can see the big picture of wherever you are. You know, that reminds me of the Bible. The Bible is full of stories about all kinds of people. Okay. Let's look on our timeline and see where our flight will take us today. Since this is our first Bible story picture, this must be where we're going today. Every week we're going to hear more about God's story. All together they form the big picture of God's plan. Every week we're going to hear more about God's story. All together they form the big picture of God's plan for us to see. The big picture is God's plan to send Jesus to save us from our sin. On this end, we'll see the stories and we'll talk about in the order in which they will happen. It says on our timeline that our first story is God created the world and people. But before we can start our journey today, I have some important information that will help you on our flight. Each week we'll be searching for an answer to a big picture question. Our big picture question will help us understand more about God's story. Some of you may think you know the answer, so I need you to promise not to tell anyone. Shh. I want everyone to get the chance to discover it on their own. Listen during the story to see if you hear the answer to the big picture question. Today's big picture question is, who created everything?